Hello, my beautiful people, and welcome back. It is nearly 20 to 10 night here in Queensland, and I'm doing some more sewing. I had a few distractions today, so I need to get in and do some more sewing. I'll just show you first what I made earlier. My first one ever. It's just a little trial material basket that I've made. I've got to make some corrections to this here, try and find something that's more stiffer than the interfacing that I actually put in here. So that'll be coming up in another tutorial later on down the track. It's quite not at the moment. Okay, so I'm just going to pop that out of the way. Now I have these poplins here, and one of them is an organic poplin and the other one is not. So if you can guess which one is your organic poplin and which one's just your ordinary standard poplin, then let me know in the comment section below. Also, don't forget, if you like my channel, to subscribe. Hit the subscribe button. And if you like my vlog, please give us a big thumbs up. And always be nice and always be kind. And wherever you are in the world, stay safe. And always take care of yourself first and foremost, so you can be there for your significant other, your babies, and your fur babies or feathered babies, whichever it may be. So, tonight I am going to be making some hair clips. Now I have these rectangular hair clips, definitely for hair. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually put fabric around them. Now I've never made these before, and I was kind of playing with the concept this afternoon, and what I'm wanting to do is I'm using one of these poplin florals, and I thought instead of doubling the fabric over, then sewing again around like 2 lots of fabric doubled over, I decided I was going to try, ta-da, some wadding. Now, it may not work. So this is the first trial run. I'm not going to be on here very long. And what we're going to do is we're going to place this. It's going to stay like this. It's going to have a bit of a shabby chic type of rustic farmhouse type of vibe to it when I'm finished, and hopefully it doesn't look like a complete mess. So I've already measured these out. Now you can do any sort of clips yourself. So this is just, like I said, a trial run, and we're going to see how we go with it. So I looked at this earlier and I was thinking about putting a hole through here. I'd done a test run of a button hole stitch and I was just not really impressed with it. So what we're going to do is, because we actually need this clip, part of the clip, wrong way, this part of the clip, this one here, that actually goes against, like you put this part of the clip against the scalp, your head, and then you make sure the hair's in between, and then you close that over. Now, you can't have a lot of bulk here. This is very thin. I was thinking of covering it with material, and I thought, no, what I'm going to actually try is I'm going to make a cut in the material just slightly wider than this here, so this can actually get through quite easily, but I'm not going to make it too wide. So it may seem like a really weird technique, but I'll get anything to go once. Well, most things once. Okay. And if it works, then we'll do the next one. If not, we'll go to phase 2. Let's go ahead and try this. So what I have done is, let's pop this aside. Is I cut the piece of material out, I cut the wadding out, and I've gone Okay, so I've looked at it like this and I thought, like I said, let's put a hole in here. So we have to mark that off. Take my trusty pencil, or you can use a pen or a felt pen. Maybe not a felt pen, but definitely use your Talos chalk or Talos pencil. I'm just using this, and so I've just marked in here. And then what we're going to do is I've just placed this against the material as such, like so, and just made little marks in there with my pencil, like that. So we make that little, actually I'll bring it over this way a little bit. It's too far to the right. There we go. So I've got it there. I have the markings here. So I'm just going to take our scissors. Now to make this easier, we're just going to fold material in half. Make sure that it's all lined up. Okay, is it lined up on both sides? Yes. I'm just going to heat press it between my fingers and thumb, my index finger and my thumb, or my pointer finger, whichever one you want to call it. Now, because this is going to be under the side, on the underside, you're not really going to see this, but you can just iron it out anyway, so you can see the second marks that I made there. They're even. So we're just going to take a snip to there, and then a snip to there, and then take that material out. This is probably better if you're using embroidery scissors or smaller scissors. I'm just going to snip slightly there. And then I'll just pull that little bit aside. It's only very, very small, as you can see, because we don't want a lot showing. Okay, and I'm just going to heat press that down with my fingers, and it's just holding that bit slightly out there. So then I'm just going to take my scissors and very carefully snip that off. That was pretty good. That went straight into my stone waste bin. And then hopefully you can see that there, that little hole just up the top here. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to see if the hole is the little slit, the rectangular hole that we made. I'm just going to cut a little bit more out there because I didn't quite get it before. If it will stay out. Got it. Okay, now just remember this is going to be the underside piece, and we're going to, I think I might have to make it just a smidgen bigger. Just a smidge bigger. So I'll close that, fold that back over again, like that. Okay, and I made this slit a little bit bigger. I've done it on an angle, so the bigger part is here and it's not so wide there. Now we're going to take this, so this will be on this side. So we have to poke it through here and go like that and pull it through. like so. So it's like that. Now, this is all trial and error. I'm doing this for the first time, and I'm doing it on camera because I'd like to see, like to show you all how this will go. So I'm just going to close the hair clip. And I'm actually on an angle behind. Just make sure this, where it's joined here, is lined up with that center line, like so. Clip that over. So it's a little bit too far to this end here of the material. We just need to lightly push it back a little bit like that. Now, I've never done this before. So it, like I said, trial and error before. Okay, it's all centered. Actually, let's come down a little bit on that side. I pulled it too far. It's all centered. Then we're going to take the wadding and the other piece, and we're keeping it together. And we're going to pop it over here. Now, I could possibly use a glue that can adhere cotton or fabric to metal. There's not a lot out there, but there are some out there. I do use E6000, so it may be a choice here for me to use. But however, because I've got fabric around here, I could possibly use a fabric glue, but what I'm going to do is we're going to try and zigzag. So I'm going to put my setting on number 5 on my machine. As you can see at the moment, it's on setting 1, which is your straight stitch. Now these come all preset, so I haven't changed anything on here. I haven't increased the stitch length, which is this one. This is the tension. So let's try this. Pop this out of the way. I'm quite nervous about this, if you can't tell. But anyways, I'm going to just pin it to help with it keeping it even. And it just doesn't want to play the game on that side. There we go, that's better. So I'm just pinning it like this. Wadding may not be the ideal middle piece between the fabric. I'll just push that clip. As you can see, I'll push that clip over. So I have to make sure that I keep it centered. We're going to do that. Sorry, I'm dropping my INGs and making my words like gonna instead of going to. Typical Aussie slang, but I am so sorry about that. It's just who I am. And we'll just take this one up here, like so. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to do a zigzag stitch down along here. And what I'm going to do is I'm letting it to go over the side a little bit so that we close that off properly. Otherwise we're going to have wadding, I should say, not batting, coming out everywhere on the sides, and like we're getting little furry bits on the ends here, and we don't want that. So we're going to stitch around there. I just have to even that up too, as like just seeing I cut that a little bit crooked. So we'll get this pin out of the way. Nope. Poke my camera, which is my phone. So just ever so slight. Just cut. There we go. There we have it. So now we're going to try ever so hard here. Let's pop this up a little bit. And I'm just going to bring this a little bit closer so that my body's not in the way, because when I'm actually sewing, I have my sewing machine further into my table and I'm like basically right in under my sewing desk. So we've just double check that you have it on setting 5, which is our zigzag stitch. It's not the larger of the zigzag stitches, it's actually smaller. I could probably go a straight stitch, but like I said, I wanted to close this side seam. So Now it's going to feel like it's catching because you have this on here on the teeth under here. So, and just be mindful of that other pin. So we have to make sure we pick it up. Now, I don't know how it's going to go because I'm putting the pressure down here. Maybe I should have flipped it over, but this is the side that we decided to keep as the full material side and the underside as the stitch side. And what I'll do is we'll close that off with just a normal hand stitch. Like we'll just take a cotton thread and a needle and we'll fix it up. So I'm going to just lower that there. Now this is going to be really, really close, okay? So we have to be mindful of this. I just have a standard sewing needle in here. I'll give you the on there on the size gauges of the needles. So I'm just going to take a step forward, well it can be a step forward, and then we're just going to reverse. Okay, so it's coming over the edge like I want it to. Now I'm only going very steadily because, like I said, I've never done this before. I'm doing quite a first of a lot of things today. So I'm keeping the pressure on there, but I'm allowing the material to actually feed itself through. And the good thing about having the needle down is this is not scooting out over there. So now I'm going to allow this foot to come up. I'm going to turn it like that. And remember, we're keeping it on the outside. So I'm just going to pull that pin a little bit this way. Okay, this is where it's going to become tricky because I don't know what's happening on the inside here. It still looks like it's fairly well to the center of the material, the actual hair clip itself. So then we're going to do down, just stitch back, turn. So some of the wadding's coming out, so I'm just going to take my pin before I lower my foot and just poke, take this pin out. Sorry about my arm being in the way. And then I'm just going to tuck that back in there. Just make sure you're tucking the wadding in and not your lower, the backing material for your hair clip. This is just a trial for me. I like to share my trials with people. So I can feel that pushing that way. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stop with while the needle's right down. I'm going to lift the foot up. And actually it's doing quite well. So I just have to put a little bit of pressure on there because this foot is actually creeping up on the top here where it's really, really high. And that little ting that you can hear, that's my needle actually hitting the hair clip. So we don't want that. So hopefully I'm not damaging the end of my needle or the tip of my needle. Just bring it down a little bit more. Stopped. Take it back a stitch. Take it back another one. And then we're going to turn. And it looks like some of the material got puckered up at the beginning. So we just need to trim these loose threads. There's no real fur bits there at the moment. I think I might have to unpick that while it's in there using my quick unpick or my seam ripper. No, that's right, I'll put it back in its proper home. In this part, this extends out so far. Completely off. So I'll just pop this back on, and in here this little hidey hole. So I'm just going to take my quick unpick, or as some people call it, their seam ripper. And I'm just going to lightly, ever so lightly, just take that bit of thread out from there and pull this piece over. Now it's still a little bit further. That's probably where the back stitch is. I don't want to go too deep or else I'm going to actually cut the material. There we go. Got that. And it wants to blow away. Okay, there is a little bit of wadding sticking out there, but what will happen is while I'm stitching it, it should draw in, but I'm just going to poke it in a little bit, like so. Take that bit of thread out of there, just like that. And then we're going to go. Now, back stitch, then come forward. And hopefully we are done. So it did turn over here. So what we can do there is we can actually, I'll just trim these furries off like so. It worked perfectly on this side, not so well on this side, and it feels here that I'm going to have to possibly put a piece of wadding in there, or just make a slit in the wadding and bring that up through, but then the wadding's not going to be up on here. So we're just going to do a quick unpick here using our quick unpick or our seam ripper. Quite easy to get into there as well. If let's cut the cotton, which it's not really doing, I just got in under the material then, or fabric. Okay, so I've pulled that out. We can trim this off here, this bit of wadding here and this bit of wadding down here. Now, yes, my nails are a little bit dirty, but that's from, this is brand new material. This is not pre-washed. I haven't washed this. So when you're handling material, even if it's been washed, you're still going to get dirt under it, or dust fibers, or material fibers under your nails. I'm just going to trim this little bit off here. And I can see here that it's pulled away from the seam, so I'll spit it out in a minute. What I will do is I will go like this and just pull it down a little bit, clip that back in, so I have a little bit extra of material to play with there, and then we'll just go back over the top of it. So this is basically like your prototype, okay? While we're trimming, I'll go over here. Trim this a little bit. Just take a little bit more off there. And as you can see there, the material has rolled a little bit. And it's got the cotton where I've unpicked it. And you can see there, look, it's way off. Way, way off. So we just need to trim these pieces of thread that are hanging. And then I'm going to unclip that. Just pull that a little bit that way and then go down. So probably as a suggestion, just make one run down one side, then make the next run down the other side. And this is being flipped around. Then we'll go to the back here, and it is out of alignment, as you can see now. You can see where the clip was more centered here by the marking on the material. Then we'll go here and we'll fix this little bit up here. Like I said, I'll probably more than likely need to place, this will be hand stitched here, and I'll show you how to do that as well. So I might run a stitch down here No, we won't. We'll do the side. We'll do the side first. So I'm starting at the very top because I unpicked the stitching from here to here. Pop that back in under there, and I'm just, you can see the bit of an arch there. That's where this part of the hair clip is. So what I'm going, by putting pressure down on there, I'm not going to be unclipping it, but I'm putting pressure there to make that more flatter, which in turn will help us keep the material flatter. So I'm doing this, and it's wanting to turn over again. So I think it's created a little hiccup for itself there along the way, and because I probably actually should have taken that completely off and ironed it. Yes, it's completely turned it over even worse than what it did before. So I think I am going to have to possibly sew it from this side like this, but keeping this out of the way so it doesn't get hooked up in any part of my machine there. So we're going to quickly unpick that. And this, I have to take it all the way down here. Oop, get off there. Back on 5. We've had a ton of rain here last week. A ton of rain. Sounded like a tunnel of rain. Basically could have been with the amount of rain that we had here. And so I have to go around my house and set off insect bombs and spray for insects. So I'm going to pull that completely over to this one side, and hopefully this time pop that down. It's actually running right beside the edge of the clip, so hopefully this time it won't turn. So we'll just take a step forward. I think I might be pushing it over slightly with my hands as well. Back stitch. Okay, it did turn again. Sorry. I would say the wadding's moved over further, but that's okay. It's handmade and it's all good. You're probably thinking, oh my gosh, that's your answer to everything, Marie. Well, no, it's not the answer to everything, and there's nothing wrong with handmade looking handmade and not looking like it come out of a factory. So, and I've gone slightly off skew there with the zigzag stitch, so I'm just going to pop that way. Just give this a little bit of a trim. Trim down the side as well. Just check for where all the threads are. There's always thread there. Oh, not loose as such. It's just where we ended the stitch. Okay, so I'm going to unclip that. And I'm going to try and bring this down as far as possible. You can see that the tension there against the material. I'm going to close that clip back up, and then we're going to go back across here because we don't want any gaps in there. So I'm going to stay on this side as I need to feel really where that is. So again, that's the top end of the clip, or the bottom, whichever way you want to call it. We'll just say it's the top at the moment. It's just a bit. Okay, I'm going to go right to the very corner because I didn't do a back stitch or a back tack there. I'm going to hold this taut with my quick unpick. Back stitch, and then we have to keep this straight. Back stitch, back tack, whichever way you like to call it. And just over there, take my scissors and trim that. Got a bit of tail happening here. Trim that. Trim any loose threads that you see. Do not try, when you're trimming around here, like this piece up here, you can see the stitching's coming out this way a little bit. So we're just going to trim very slightly around it like that. So, yay, that worked. Now what I need to do here is I need to do a hand stitch through here. So what I will do is I will go under with my needle. I'll demonstrate as I go. A couple ways you can tie a knot at the end of a piece of cotton, at least it's string then. Just putting your finger like that and pull it through. I've got a knot in there somewhere. No. It's late night. Forgive me, please, everyone. It's 5 o'clock somewhere, right? So just twist that around there and pull that down, and it's not working. Oh my. I don't usually have a problem with this. The other way you can do it as well is you can, where is that little knot gone? I do have a little fine knot in here, but because of the gauge of the needle, it's just going to slip right through. Is you can turn your needle like this, the thread around the needle, I should say. Pull that through, and there's a bigger knot. So let's try that. Okay, I'm going to take my needle and I'm going to put it in here. That tail's hanging out, so what we can do is, I know it's in there firm, it's not pulling through. So I'm just going to take my scissors and take that off. And I'm just going to poke that little bit of the tail back. It's going to move for me. Under. And then we're going to do like, put that out a little bit too far, but no matter. You can just tuck that. Oh no, it's there. Sorry. Oop. See. Where am I going? There it is. In under here. And we're just going to do like, do a heel long stitch, and I'm just going to take it through so that is knotting on itself. And we'll just continue that across where we made that cut in the material of the fabric just there. And I'm just going to bring it down to my level for a little bit. I'm going to try and keep it in angle. Ow! Don't stake yourself with your needles either. Just going to keep going. We just want to close that off so we don't have any material flying and it doesn't actually cut the hair clip. Just pop that up. Pop it down through the thread again. I'm going to continue till we're right beside that. You can manipulate your needles a little bit. You can't completely bend them unless use something incredible, or use it. Actually, you could probably use one of those curved quilting needles, I think they're called. Okay, that little tail has just popped its head out. Just need to poke it back in under there. Like so. And we're going to just do a stitch across here. Just be mindful that you don't catch your thread in there. Just turn it back on itself a little bit so we can get just above those. Okay, I'll just grab this out from here, clasp that back off. I'm just going to take this across. I probably could have actually run these stitches along here like this. Before I put that in, it might have stopped the frame a little bit. And then under the hair clip there. We're nearly to that edge there, so that you can see that there we're nearly to the edge. So what we'll do is we'll still do a knot in this stitch. So get it, there we go. Then I'm going to bring it down to the side here and go in under this fabric. It's actually trying to stitch into the hair clip then. I'm hoping I have enough thread left on this needle to get this finished. Nearly there. And then we can knock this off. It's a little bit of a mess, but it's night time, sorry. Just going to run the needle through, back through under that thread there. I stitched, hand stitched it. Let's bring it through there like that. And I'll bring it back over this way again, just to try and tidy those hand sewn area up. And then we can, I only got a little bit of room left, just enough. So there we go. Done. Knotted. Just go around and just trim any little fuzzies that you didn't get before. And then we have it. One material hair clip. Don't forget to like, give us a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Don't forget I have Facebook, Instagram as well, and I also have a TikTok channel. Not everything that you see here that you will see on either of those, but majority of it you will see here on my YouTube channel. Thanks very much for coming and watching my first ever hair clip. Oh, I've got a lot of little furries there that I have to trim back. On this side. Okay, there we go. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye now.